Hello everyone and welcome back. Let me know if the audio is out of balance or the music is overpowering. I have not actually taken a look yet. Could be overpowering, I just haven't checked. So we left off with, this is the third chapter date? Yeah, we've talked with Anna twice, Lorem twice, Adine once. We have passion for this chapter. We have not yet met with Anna. Alright, thank you, Grant. So, we can meet with Remy, we can meet with Anna, we can meet with Lorem again, if everyone prefers. We can meet with Bryce, Adine, we can get some rest, technically. I know Grant is against rest, as if we were pretending it just doesn't exist. So sorry about the delay, I was actually forgetting about the stream again, just playing another game entirely. So, for the purposes of, for now, what does everybody want to do? Yeah, sleep is for the weak until I get too weak. Okay, the thumbnail is suggesting Anna. That being said, she did leave us a message and we have not actually answered that yet. Okay, I'm gonna assume that's double Anna's for that. That was in relation to us talking with Lorem and Ipsum just last episode, in that Ipsum mentioned when we came up, Cabbage, she just came up and said, "You are in no way touching Cabbage. You are not experimenting on him at all. He's mine." Alright, so I'm going to assume that thumbnail means Anna. Well, Justin also said Anna no Touchy, and I'm pretty sure he wants Anna. But I did not actually technically ask. I forgot what you two had even asked. That's why I had Shadow Grant there in the text. Yeah, I have two for Anna. That's what I remembered. Okay. Fix the thumbnail. Or the stream, sorry. Alright, let's go with Anna. Now, if you guys get her impressed again, I am also going to be impressed. There you are. I was wondering if you'd even show up. Alright guys, are we an honorable person? We wouldn't miss the opportunity to meet her, or she didn't have anything better to do. Which, I guess that would technically be true. Probably be true. I can just see this stream being mostly Justin waiting for Grant and Grant waiting for Justin. I am gonna have to get some dice ready, which I do not have on me at the moment. But I'm gonna have to be just rolling dice between the two again, then picking on both you and Grant. Okay, so I'm gonna be waiting on both of you. That's okay, guys, I got this. Justin, you first. I've just got this dice app here on my phone. Wow, that glare from the app and the camera. Alright, well, stream's not going anywhere. And you may also notice how I'm staring off to the right side most of the time. I have my stream chat just right over here, just off the camera, and OBS is way over there, and that's what I'm mostly staring at, is waiting for a message on OBS. Turns out this entire stream is not getting anywhere past here because Justin and Grant are just staring at each other. Justin, I am picking on you though, because the dice did say you have to pick first. Of the two of you, Justin and Grant, you have to pick first. But not miss an opportunity. Okay, we at least have one option. Okay, would not miss an opportunity. Gee, I could just imagine if this was a real time reference here where Anna's just waiting for us to pick. And then finally just say, wouldn't miss an opportunity. Alright, so a glutton for punishment, huh? Not that I mind. Follow me, please. So, what exactly is this room? It's our testing room for research on live subjects. And what exactly do you test here? You'll see that soon enough. I intend to use this facility to its fullest potential. I see. Let's start with this one. What's that? I can get a good look at your bone structure, muscle groups, and organs with this. For the finer details, we'll need a different machine. Would you please lie down here? Of course. Before we start, can I ask about your qualifications? You can trust me. I'm a doctor. What kind of doctor? Well, Doctor of Pharmacy is the only title I currently hold, but I know how to operate this machinery. Yes, we can thank Dog for the name Cabbage. That doesn't exactly inspire confidence. You think I'd let an opportunity like this go to waste by not doing my research? I'll have you know that I'm very qualified to perform these tests. If you say so. Now please, try not to move too much while this is running. And how long will that be? Good question. I suppose we'll see soon enough. And what do we do now? Just wait until it's over? What do you want me to do? Dance for you so you don't get bored? Alright, I have to ask. I would not mind that. Well, I guess I should say we. Just forget we said anything? Or what does a dancing dragon look like anyways? We could do a dice roll here to pick between the two of you if you're going to be staring at each other. Dice still say Justin, though. So Justin says, what does a dancing dragon look like? Sounds good to me. Is that your scientific curiosity shining through? I can approve of that. You didn't answer my question. Well, I'm not going to show you. If you were that curious, you might find the answer in the seedier parts of town. Your town has seedy parts? Oh, there's a lot you haven't seen yet. You know, when I heard that something happened at the facility, I thought it might have been you. It's quite something, isn't it? You know, if I stayed as late as I used to, it might have been me instead of Damien. And it's only because you told me not to stay late so often that I wasn't there that night. Still, somebody died. Oh, that look of rage on her face. I'm not crying over that bastard. Oh, you haven't seen anything, Justin. Literally, every one of these characters are capable of blushing. Over Cabbage. Alright, you can move again. Okay, hi, Shadow. That's showing up in YouTube. Alright, fair enough, Shadow. Alright, let me just go back again. Alright, you can move again. Does that mean I'm done? That's a good one. We're just getting started. What about the results? Don't hold your breath. It'll be processing for some time, and the resulting data will be so vast I'll probably end up studying it for days. Yes, they are. Yeah, no, Anna is the only one who's actually been impressed, and she's been impressed 2 times over so far. I am really just ashamed that you guys did not get impressed with Lorne or Dean yet. And I'm also a little surprised that we haven't even taken a look at Brace or Remy yet either. Yeah, they do just have the blushing picture, whatever you want to call it. Forget about those suits, okay. I mean, technically we are forgetting about them. Don't hold your breath, it'll be processing for some time. The resulting data will be so vast that I'll probably end up studying it for days. Let's collect some samples now. Where should I start? Wherever you like. Show me your claws. That would be fingernails in my case. I suppose you're right. It would be insulting to call those little things of yours claws. They'd probably break off before you could use them in any practical way. They probably would at that. Unless you're careful, which is still not practical in Dragon sense. Just one more way nature gave us the short end of the stick. So which part would be fine for me to cut off? Take a piece from the white part. The rest is you see is attached to the finger. Hold still then. Don't cut off too much. Don't worry, I only need enough to put it under a microscope. There, was that so bad? You want me to put a bandage on your little boo-boo? Alright guys. And Justin? Is this a whatever? Or I'll show you a boo-boo? Or you better behave, I'm doing you a favor. Well, I mean, I would like to just show them off, if you will, just before the first run ends. You did not really miss anything, Grant. We did just finish. Here, I'll just go back a second. Cutting off the fingernail. She asked us which part of the nail is fine. Just light part. Don't cut off too much. Don't worry, she just needs the microscope. Was that so bad? Do you want me to put a bandage on the boo-boo? And then our choice. Whatever. Show you a boo-boo, or you better behave, I'm doing you a favor. Two and three? Alright, but which one, Justin? For that matter, I also have to ask Grant, which one does he want? Yeah, I actually did bring this one up to Rome for a guide for that. I'll forget about the guide for now. We'll see how you guys do. Yeah, I mean, this isn't me playing anyways. This is YouTube anyways. It's, why can I say it? I can look it up, sure. So Shadow says that just as a warning, the second one sounds like a threat. Yeah, if it's, I'll show you a boo-boo, I guess. I don't know, I think the third one sounds more like a threat. I guess Shadow is aiming towards 3, Justin is either 2 or 3. I guess this would be 3 unless Grant wants otherwise. Oh, okay, so number 2 then, Shadow. Leaning towards number 2. Okay. Okay, number 2. I was wondering what number W was. No thanks. And what now? Now it'll go right under the microscope. She got up and sat down at a table. Intently, Anna stared at the device while messing around with the nail clipping. Let's see. Putting your fingernail under the microscope is something we used to do in middle school. Quiet, please. There's a scientist at work here. Okay. This structure looks a lot like keratin. I could have told you that. Well, I guess we could. Is that supposed to mean anything? Or because that is? Now, in the event of Justin and Grant staring at each other, Grant's turn, according to the dice. Yes, you. Alright, Grant wants 2. How about Justin and Shadow? If Shadow is around. And I'm also wondering if Grant also just rolled his own set of dice. Yeah, excuse me. Only the option for 2? Asked in question, more or less, too. I'm looking at you, Grant. And you too, Justin. Okay. Consensus at least? Only to someone who knows what they're talking about. Keratin is a substance that forms the claws on us dragons and most of the animals here. At least as far as mammals, reptiles, and birds are concerned. So why would you retain the structure, but not do anything useful anything useful with it is beyond me. It gets better. They grow continuously, so they need to be cut regularly. What happens if you don't cut them? They just keep growing. How much can they keep growing? Pretty much indefinitely. Do they get thicker at least? What else happens when they grow? They just get longer. What a hassle. So how long are you planning to keep me here? Getting impatient already? I'm just saying, our date didn't take all that long, and you mentioned you'll already have a day's worth of data from that machine. Well, we never specified the terms, and I sat at our date until then. Well, we never specified any terms, and I sat out our date until it was officially over. This will certainly go on much quicker if you can show a little patience. Alright, says the Queen of Complaining. We'll just shut up, or just hurry up. Which one? Justin. And or Grant. And I'm just rolling some dice here, but I'm not telling you guys who's going first. Until you do just get into a staring contest. Unless Shadow wants to go first, I mean, by all means, anyone. 2 and 3, okay, so there's a bit of a conflict. Okay, 3, so just hurry up. Oh boy, I have some questions about Grant here. That wouldn't be very wise. You wouldn't want me to make a mistake once I start sticking needles in you. By the way, how do you feel about needles? Alright guys, we don't mind them. I mean, I've certainly gotten used to them after my past medical history. Go ahead and poke me if you need to, or please no. Chaotic neutral, okay. So Grant does know D&D. Don't mind them, and what was Grant? That was no, Grant was the previous question. Don't mind them. Poke me if you need to. Mind them? Okay. Glad to hear that. You'll need to remove some layers for the next part. What are you going to do? There are just some electrodes, and I'll also measure your brain activity with one of those helmets. Alright, there you go. What is it now? Alright, is it that this is kind of embarrassing, it's kind of cold in here, or nothing? I remember in the guide there was something of the best possible chance for impressing her was different based off of something else that would happen. I don't think we've done it, and I don't know what it is. Shadow wants the embarrassing option. Grant wants that too. Alright, I guess that's consensus, so I don't have to ask Justin, but I'll ask him anyways. Justin. Okay. Consensus. All around consensus. Why? Well, we usually don't take off this much in front of others. Not even for doctors? Well, we do, but that doesn't make it any less embarrassing. I don't understand. I mean, why would you want to put something on if it's cold? I get why you would want to put something on if it's cold, considering your lack of fur. But to have this compulsion to always have some layers on is a bit strange. It's just the social norm where I come from. As you can probably tell, we don't have a problem showing what we were born with. This will also take a while. I want to have a good reference to see how your rates change. Your head shape is a little different from ours, but I I think this one should do the trick. Perfect. Just as if it was made for you. I'm not so sure about that. By the way, how can you even be sure that your machinery will have no adverse effects on me? I suppose I can't. That is mildly unsettling. Your physiology is similar enough to ours that there shouldn't be any problems. I see. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions. What is this, a polygraph test? No, this is something completely different. I'm also measuring your brain activity here. Besides, I don't really care about the truthfulness of your answers. Rather, this is to establish your natural highs and lows of the values I'm measuring. Go ahead. Let's start with the easy ones. Just say no to all the following 3 questions. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Understood? Alright guys, 4 questions this time. No. Yes. I'm not sure. Or does this question count already? Brent already says no. It's definitely the chaotic neutral answer. No one else want to answer? Just a no from Brad so far? I'm gonna have to pick on you, Justin. Justin wants to. Alright, Justin, I got your Discord message. Speaking of, I should probably hit that too. Consensus, I suppose. I set myself up for this, but didn't I? The questions start now. Are you human? No. I see. Is your favorite color green? No. Interesting. Have you been convicted of any crime? No. I see. Now, I'll get to the real part. You can answer the following questions however you like. Got it. Did it make you uneasy when you had to answer all the test questions negatively? Yes, no, or not really. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to start asking you again. Which was yes, no, not really. Grant wants yes. Yes. I see. Interesting. Have you taken a liking to anyone since you arrived here? Oh, gee, rather specific, aren't you, Anna? I would have to say yes myself, because I do like the characters. But is this yes? No? Not sure? Shadow says yes. Okay. Grant also says yes. I see. Do you have any ulterior motives when you came to our world, or is it as simple as we are led to believe? Sorry, I'm just shaking my head at something Justin said. So are there no comments, alright? That was fast, Brent. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you knew which answer was coming. Alright, Justin, I do have to poke at you. You and or Shadow, so... Which is it? Military motive? No comment? Stay silent. Okay, so no comment from basically everyone. I see. That's all for this test. You can take off the helmet, and I'll take care of the electrodes. This kind of seemed like an interrogation. I wanted to keep it simple by asking questions that could get a reaction. I see. It's kind of a shame, because in the end, the lack of additional subjects for this test means those results might not even be very useful to us. We probably need a few more humans. Then why do them in the first place? The data is still useful, just not as useful as it could be. Besides, I did tell you I'd make most of this room. Well, what's next? I'm not sure yet. Do I want to get close enough to examine mucosa and orifices? Probably not. Yes. Or there's only one person in this room that can answer that question. Which one, guys? I have to ask all three of you. It would be quite interesting if I got 3 different answers from all 3 of you too. I would very much like that. Don't comment. Well, that is definitely going to be a different answer. Unless Justin and Grant decide to follow the same answer. Justin wants the only one in the room to answer that. I'm wondering what chaotic neutral Grant. 3? Okay. I guess so. We quarantined Reza when he initially arrived here, but skipped that procedure with you. After examining Reza, we didn't think humans by themselves posed any danger. Nevertheless, who knows what kind of illnesses and bacteria you might be housing as an alternate host. I'm not taking that risk without a full protective suit. Does that mean your procedures are going to get a lot more invasive? No, I'm not in the mood to put the suit on and sterilize the whole room. To be fair, I haven't heard of anyone I've been in contact with getting any strange disease thus far. Sure, but then I'd have to ask you if any of those actually got close enough to you. As in, intimately close. No orifice examination then? The next part, we'll have to actually go outside. Sounds like fun. Depends. Here, strap this to your arm. What's this? A handheld monitor. I want to measure how you perform during exercise. Alright guys, do we not like exercise? I don't. Awesome? Or yes ma'am? There's one for awesome. Sure for awesome? Okay. At least we found something you like. Also awesome, okay. Let's go then, shall we? Sure thing. Alright, I just have to leave a message. Quick. And now, take one lap around the block. I'll be waiting for you here. You can go as fast or slow as you want, but try not to stop until you get back here. I'll be monitoring you so I'll know if you try to do anything fishy. I wouldn't do such a thing. Piece of cake. Or, no need to point out the obvious. Just once, no need to point out the obvious. Alright, Shadow, this one appears to be on you. Which one do you want? Almost be willing to bet that Shadow is on mobile right now. I should refine that. A mobile device. I'm actually a little bit hungry too. Right, give Shadow another moment, and otherwise I'll roll between point out the obvious and cake. Oh, okay. Cake it is. Easier said than done, Cabbage. I'll be watching. Oh, was that not actually your answer, Shadow? Oh, okay, so we'll just go with that escape. Anyways, you can start whenever. The monitor should take care of the rest. Trying for a constant speed, I started with a light jog. Soon I was outside the gate and around the corner when I met an unexpected surprise. Hey, Cabbage. Hey, Remy. Long time no see. Indeed. Just enjoying the fresh air, I see. Yeah. You know, if you ever want to come by and visit the library or need to know anything, feel free to ask me. I will, thanks. My pleasure. Ghost form. Afterwards, I finished my lap around the block, arriving only a few minutes after I had started. I suppose it was too much to ask for a lap without any braids. Maybe I shouldn't have expected you to be as fit as we are. I got distracted on the way. How so? Did you have to stop and smell some flowers? I met Remy. Remy? Oh, I wouldn't mind if that bastard kicked the bucket too. Alright guys, what does Anna have against him, or how can you say that? Justin wants to know what she has against him? Yeah, it is great. And if you have the deluxe edition, there are 94 different tracks. Oh, sorry, I did not see that, Grant. What do you have against him? Okay. He's such a self-righteous do-gooder who can't help but stick his nose where it doesn't belong. I don't care what he says as long as he doesn't mess with me. But he does mess with me, so I do care. Anyways, I've got your data, so we can head back inside if you're not too exhausted to work. Of course. Looking at your data, it's kind of hard to evaluate it without having any reference points. How much exercise do you usually get? A lot, a little, or none at all? Little from Grant? I can just imagine Justin saying a lot. Nope, also little, okay. I see. You sure get to ask me a lot of questions here. All just part of the test. Though I think those were all the tests I needed to run on you for today. Does that mean we're done here? Oh. Some of the data from the scanning machine has been processed. We can look at some pretty pictures of you. Flattering as they may be, why don't you print them out and have them framed? Or I'd rather be looking at some pretty pictures of you instead. So, which one is it, guys? Excuse me, sorry about that. Are our pictures unflattering? Should we have them framed, or would we rather look at pictures of Anna? Grant wants them to be framed, okay? Justin? I could imagine Justin and Shadow actually suggesting to look at a pretty picture of you instead. I can just so imagine that. Still, guys, which one is it? Since I said that, okay. Shadow, if you're still around, I'm gonna need a choice from you now, sorry. Yep. Chance time has already answered, so it's up to Shadow. Just okay. Just give Shadow a bit of a moment here. Music theory stuff? Are you talking about actually the music boards for the OST or something? Excuse me. I end up a yawn tonight. Oh, so that's like a music class of sorts. Alright. Well, I don't think Shadow is going to be answering. He must be busy or something right now. So, did I say to look at pretty pictures of you? That's the best you can come up with? Seriously? Oh right, I totally forgot, you are a mammal. To encounter an intelligent mammal of all things, well, reasonably intelligent at the very least. Why is that so surprising? You already have your myths about humans. Myths are myths. Having you here in the flesh is an entirely different thing. It's not like I could use our myths to get a scan like this one. It just seems so funny to me. Do you nurse your young from your teats as well? We do. Let me study your muscle groups for a bit. Can we take off my clothes again? I meant the pictures. Oh, I see. You can stay for a bit longer in case I have any questions. Okay. While I continued sitting on... This is the deciding moment, I believe. Did we piss her off? Is she impressed? While I continued sitting on the bed, she went up to her table and started looking at the scans and muscle groups. As we talked, her eyes never left the screen. Some of these structures are very similar to those found in Damien's kind. not surprised. His stature is similar, what? True, true. Now shut up and let me concentrate. Does that approach ever work? What are you talking about? You being that rude to everyone. We're done here. Get out. You can't take out what you dish, huh? Nope. We got her mad. Suddenly she got up, a look of rage crossed her face. I said get the heck out of here. She grabbed my arm and roughly walked me to the door, shoving me outside, and she quickly closed the door behind me. Okay. This is probably actually Grant's fault. I'm pretty sure I know what he was trying to do. Okay. I'll have to recap what that said. That was, loss and superstition, was it? Let's see, that was, yeah, that was loss and superstition. I'm pretty sure I knew what your intention for part of that was, Grant. I'm just pretty sure. I woke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from a nightmare I had no longer remembered. Granted, I suppose I should amend that it was not entirely Grant's fault, because a few choices unanimously from YouTube were just as a troll or something. But I'm pretty sure that Grant was almost trying to just get her mad at times. Nightmare alone remembered. How many more times would I see this apartment before I return to my own world, or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day, and tried to shake off those thoughts. Hey, Cabbage. And right on the minute. You show up at this time every day, like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliable is good in this line of work. I think you can guess why I'm here. Is it Reza again? What happened this time? The chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? We arrived at the place that looked like an ordinary house. Had it not been for its extraordinary size, it reminded me more of a hostel than a family home. Chief! There you are. Wait, weren't you supposed to be with Emira? Luckily, she doesn't work every day of the week. I see. Anyways, we're nearly done here, so I'll keep it short. Reza broke into the hatchery. There is another murder victim, an employee of the hatchery who was on night duty. Her body was found quite away from here. There's evidence of a struggle, but she's covered a lot of distance. But she covered a lot of distance before it was ultimately over. Loud bangs were heard from the area. Her body was found. She has numerous wounds consistent with both the wounds of the previous victims and that other weapon he has. By this point, news of another corpse didn't have the same impact anymore. She was just another one of Reza's faceless victims. A hatchery? Is that what this building is? Well, not only. It's a council-owned building, and they like to keep everything related to their sector under the same roof. So besides the hatchery, there's also an orphanage and a family clinic inside. There is also an office related to the administration of those services. That reminds me of the production facility. It should. They have similar management structures. Can we get back to the case? Sorry for the interruption, Chief. Wait a minute. If an orphanage is in there too. There are no other casualties, but Reza got something else when he broke in. A generator, as well as a few eggs. Luckily, the power was restored before anything happened to all the other eggs left inside. But needless to say, the parents of the stolen eggs are not going to be happy. Why would he steal eggs in the first place? Maybe you can tell us. That's why you're here, after all. I don't know. I have no idea what he would even do with them. Maybe he wants to use them as a bargaining chip. After all, he still has to make his escape, and the portal is still broken. Do you think he wants to exchange them for a safe passage through the portal? Maybe. It's still broken though, so I'm not sure if that would be much help. Maybe he has the part he needs to repair it, and now he has everything he needs to escape. You could trade the eggs for a safe passage, fix the portal, and leave. That's not the only possibility. He may not be the one who broke the portal. Maybe he thinks you've intentionally sabotaged it so that he can't leave, and he feels he needs the eggs as bargaining chip to get you to repair it. If he wanted to leave, I feel like he could have done that already. It doesn't even matter who sabotaged the portal. We only know that Rez's actions are becoming more and more desperate. He kidnapped defenseless eggs, and even used the human weapon. Something's clearly going on with him. Maybe it means he'll slip up soon. Who knows? Maybe he already has. In any case, we're done here. Let's head back to the department and decide what to do next. Hopefully, some of the test results will tell us something. After a brief walk, we were in Bryce's office again. Initial test results had already come in, but didn't reveal any insightful or new information. So, what do we do now? Go over the timeline again? Not yet. There are a few things I'd like to take care of first. What do you have in mind? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Whoa, big heavy sounding knock. Come in. Maverick, what are you doing here? Chief, can I talk to you? Alone? We're quite busy here, Maverick. What is this about? Reza. Well, you're looking for Reza at the Reza task force, so if you have anything to say, you can say it in front of all of us. I see. I think I know where Reza is. You know where Reza is at this very moment? I have good reason to believe that I have located his hideout. He could still be there, or he might have already moved on. Darn, Maverick, tell me everything. I've been tracking him for a while now. When he was at the portal a few days ago, I nearly got him, and managed to follow him for a while before I lost him. Based on that, where he's been and where his victim has been found, I could triangulate his whereabouts. He has to live somewhere, right? He needs space to hide the generators and everything he has stolen. Bryce cleared the clutter on the table and smoothed out a map of the town on its surface. It already had a few locations related to the case marked on it. Show it to me. Prior victims were found here and here. Today's was here. She was following him, likely because she wanted to save the eggs he stole. This is the path he took from the portal when I found him a few days ago. So we have established this as his area of operation, extrapolated, and we can narrow it down to this. Now where could he be hiding in this area? He's certainly not within the village border, so unless he's decided to live in the wilderness or in a hole on the ground, there's only one option here. The abandoned farm. When did you figure all this out? Just a few minutes ago. When I did, I immediately came here. Darn it, Maverick, this might be it. Should we send an observation team? As if we had one to spare. Heck, we're going up there right now. What about you, Maverick? I'm still on sick leave, remember? Besides, if I saw Reza right now, I'd probably do something I shouldn't. How about you, Cabbage? Isn't this going to be dangerous? Reza probably won't harm you, as you are the only one he could possibly consider an ally. What? If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up. And we could act like we intended to trade you for the eggs, if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. You're not going to really use me as a ransom, right? We'll see about that. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll have to play along. I've got your back. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole situation even worse, it would be messing up with you. We have the element of surprise. If we walk into that base right now, we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the way to go. I guess we won't need Cabbage there for that. True enough. Alright, Cabbage, if you stay here and wait for further instructions, we may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without telling us. Without us telling you. Understand? Okay. Alright then, let's go, Sebastian. After you, Chief. Maverick, good job. Thanks, Chief. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Then I had to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now, and if anything happened, I would be the first to know. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the material he had gathered about the case, though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. After a few hours, the telephone in his office rang. And not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce, I picked up. Cabbage? Yes. I think you need to come here. I'll give you the directions. No problem. There you are. So, what happened? A whole lot of nothing. There's no movement to or from the building in the time we've been watching. He usually operates at night, so maybe he's just asleep? In that case, it would be best for us to go in there before he has a chance to make his escape. Maybe he's not even in there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed, but plenty of time to destroy the evidence while we've been waiting here. You're right. Either he's still inside or he's already gone and not coming back. Let's go in. What should I do? You're coming with me, Sebastian. You walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape. I'm on it, Chief. So, we have two options here. The first is that you stay here and I go inside. This way, if Reza tries to flee and sees you, it might throw him off. You might be able to stop him. Or we get into a standoff. I can tell him you were here as well. And second, you go in first and I follow you. This way, if we find him, maybe we can resolve things peacefully. You might be able to talk to him. Even if it doesn't work out, you've got me and Sebastian nearby to stop him. I don't think he's planning to harm you on sight, so if we hear things starting to go wrong, we might be able to surprise him. So either way, we have to take him by surprise. I just have the option of talking to him first. I think you could pull it off. Maybe if you're there, he won't act as irrationally as he would if I was suddenly standing in front of him. I'm not going to force you if you don't want to do it though. So, which is it, guys? Are we gonna do it, go in first, or are we gonna go in second? I would just like to mention the song that's playing. I can't really remember. Is that Gravity? Let me just see if I can find this real quick. Go in, 2 for go in. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for Grant here real quick. Deluxe. Oh, okay, thank you. This is also one of my favorites, which is also by Grants. First. Yes, alright. I'll do it. Alright, let's go. I'm quite impressed, guys. Actually, the first time I came here, I got something that Bryce was actually suggesting to me to stay back, so I mean, you know, he knows his job, why not? Boy, did I get a surprise. Slowly, we made our way to the front door. I took a deep breath and tried to prepare myself for the possibility of facing Reza. The tense scenarios and things I could say to him rushed through my head as I pressed down on the door handle. Oh yeah, and you guys are going to be surprised about the fact that, wow, this could have been us, or something. The door inched open with a creak, but I noticed a slight resistance and a strange sound that suddenly made me hesitate. Look at that. Okay, there was a... what's the button? Yeah, there we go. You see that, guys? When I looked down to the source of the noise, I saw a taut wire through the gap of the door, hovering over the door of the entryway. That was a pretty close call, you know. Too bad Reza wasn't here after all. Maybe he ran when he saw us approaching. Strange for him to leave everything behind, though. Everything he's stolen, all the generators are still here. Do you think the trap was for us in particular? Probably not. It was more likely of a general safety precaution. If he had any time to prepare for this, he would have taken the stuff with him. True enough. I had no idea you could make a bomb out of a generator. And you just haven't been with us long enough. If you know how, it's not even that complicated. And Reza somehow figured it out. Apparently so. Does he have any skills pertaining to engineering or electricity? Well, he's worked on cars before and fixes a lot of things back home. I guess that would qualify? He also could have done his own research. Either way, this makes him even more dangerous. At least now we have a whole building full of clues. Cabbage, can you get to your apartment from here? We'll be busy with this scene for a while. No problem, I'll leave you to your work now. Good job, Cabbage. Thanks. I am quite surprised, everyone, that you just unanimously said you would be first. I thought that you were gonna just end up, no, you're the guy who knows stuff, you go first. I'm actually surprised that the game actually didn't even suggest that either. I just thought that we were undoubtedly going to see Bryce blow up. I'm surprised you called me back so quickly. How's the investigation going? Oh, the investigation is going swimmingly, but as you can expect, we need all the help we can get. As usual. But how this case is going, we've realized we must employ external help. Did we? Oh, is that what the trigger is? Okay, I did not even realize. Okay. That was also kind of unintentional then. Alright. And how this case has been going... Oh, is that because we've done good on the first 3 investigations? Oh, okay, yeah, that would actually make a lot of sense. With how this case has been going, we've realized we must employ external help. Oh? Yeah, we've requested assistance. Requested assistance from one of the other cities. We hope they'll send some good investigators our way soon. I see. We were so close today. We could have been in there. You know, maybe we just came a few minutes too late. And if he knows how to make bombs from generators, who's to say he won't start using them elsewhere? At least he doesn't have any right now, does he? He said all the generators that were stolen were accounted for. True. Still, this whole case is growing a bit too much for a small-town police department. I hope you'll get all the help you'll need. Me too. But right now, you can help us again. Well, what do you have for me? When we searched the building, we found more than the things Reza stole. We also found when we searched the building, we found more than the things Reza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. Do you think that's his? That's what we need to find out. But given that all we know, it probably is. So he's wounded. We know he was injured during the fight with his first victim, but whether this is from the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In any case, you could bring it into the lab for us to find out some more. Sure. Next, we have a witness who reported hearing loud bangs during the night. We'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. We need to confirm the witness statement, and then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we have reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis. Since they have experience with human artifacts, they're better suited to do it than any of our department. No problem. And lastly, we have the eggs. It's a relief that we found them unharmed in the building. They're safe and ready to be sent back to the hatchery. Shouldn't we take care of those first? It's not as urgent as you might think. Our eggs are pretty resilient. Being in the care of the hatchery is more an insurance than a requirement. Some people choose to keep them in their own home until they hatch, rather than having to let the hatchery to take care of them. The hatchery has been notified, but they won't be able to send someone for a few hours. I've heard that they're really understaffed. If you bring the eggs and the paperwork to them, you'd speed up the process, but it's not an urgent matter. I see. In any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it. So feel free to do these tasks as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't even have a free hand for simple errands. Don't worry about it. By the way, are you planning to attend the summer festival? Should I? It's hard to think about something fun when I'm wrapped up in this investigation. For sure. It's important for us to take rest so you don't lose your head. There's so much to see at the festival, particularly the big fireworks. Dragons enjoy fireworks too? I would think something like that would feel so commonplace, since many of you can breathe fire. It's not quite the same. We still appreciate the wonders of color bursts in the sky. On the last day, there's always a big fireworks show. Everyone usually attends it. Everyone? Yeah, it has a great tradition behind it. What peeves me most is that I'll be on guard duty when it happens this year, so I probably won't be able to see a thing. I'll be sure not to miss it. That's fine, Grant. We're just coming up... fireworks factory. That's fine, Grant. I'm just gonna be, I'll be wrapping up soon-ish, but we should be able to arrive beforehand, I think. I'll be sure not to miss it, though. Anyways, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave the stuff for you, and I'll take care of the rest once I get back, alright? Sure thing. Good luck, Cabbage. You too. Alright, guys. And I'm assuming that witness facility in advance. I'll be right back. Alright. So thank you, Grant. That is already one for the witness facility. Justin, what do you want? Shadow, what do you want? And if by chance somebody else is here, what do you want? We can take the advantage to the facility, we can visit the witness, we can take the PDAs to the library, we can take the eggs to the hatchery. I'm just curious, yeah. Anna is in bad status. Worm's in good status. 4, alright. Shadow. I am assuming Shadow's still here, just possibly busy. Okay, Shadow also wants to take the eggs to the hatchery. I was on my way back to the hatchery when I heard a voice call out to me. Hello there. I turned around to see an unfamiliar face before me. Say hello to Furry Dark Spiral. Hey, I'm Kevin. Cabbage, nice to meet you. Could I perhaps interest you in our Midtown institution? Is it a kind of religious thing? Not at all, it's a college. Sorry, but I already got my degrees. Yeah, I know. It was just a joke. Oh, so me going to college is a joke now. I'm not good enough, is that it? Not at all. Even if you wanted to study here, I don't think you'll be with us long enough to make use of it. I think that came out. You're lucky I won't take this the wrong way. Phew. So, you're recruited for this college? No, Dark Spiral's eyes are basically just pure white. Normal Spiral is purple too. So, you're a recruiter for this college? No, this is just my summer job. Once the semester starts up again, I'll actually be attending to get my degree in psychology. College. Wonderful times. Is that sarcasm? Maybe. I didn't even know you had colleges here, though. Oh yeah, see to your dark spiral. That's the Skylander spiral, though. Well, you do now. Why'd you even approach me if you knew I'm not going to be going to college here? Don't tell me this is just because I'm human. I was actually trying to talk to that old lady who walked by, but once you turned around, there was no going back. Oh, well, thanks for making things awkward. Oh, well, thanks for making things awkward. Hey, I treat everyone nicely until I have reason not to. That's good customer service. Sure, but it's not just for the job, you know. That's just me. Alright, so guys, do we invite him, or do we excuse ourselves? I'm gonna have to ask you, Justin, and also for Shadow. And if I don't get a response from Shadow in like a minute, I'm gonna have to ping him on Steam. That is, I just don't know if he's busy right now or not. Both answers? Which one, Shadow? I'm just getting ready to roll here for if Shadow makes a conflicting answer. I cannot talk anymore. I'm gonna say Shadow is indifferent, so I guess we'll invite him. Why don't you come over to my place later? I'd love to hear more about what college is all about in this world. Then you found the right person for the job. I can't promise anything right now, but maybe I'll see you another time. For sure. I also have to finish this up here, but after that I'm free. Alright, I'll let you know. I'm here all day today and tomorrow, so it shouldn't be too hard to find me. Great, I have to get going now, but I'll be sure to let you know if anything's up. Sure, see ya. Here we are again. Hey, Cabbage, what are you doing here? Oh, I just came by to drop these off. Drop what off? The stolen eggs. I figured the hatchery would want them back. Oh, I was actually going to get those from the police department later. I'm so glad that they got back safely. Emily, stop chewing my leg. It's tasty. Oh, well. Anyways, I was about to go inside, so I'll take those off your hands. That's right, you guys have not actually met Emily before yet, have you? Thanks for bringing them here. No problem. You returned the eggs to the hatchery. Well, an achievement, and local parentis. Alright guys, are we gonna take the bandages to the facility, visit the witness, take the PDA to the library? And, Brent did say he wanted the facility, right? Just in advance, I'm going to assume that's what he still wants to do. Witness facility in advance. Alright, so you wanted the facility, so the bandages, alright. Oh boy, you guys are in for a treat. When I approached Anna's lab, I saw her sitting on the hallway floor, door to her lab wide open. Hey, Anna. Oh, it's you. What's going on here? That's none of your... Screenshot. It's none of your business. Okay then. What do you want, anyways? I was going to drop this evidence off for you, courtesy of the police. The police? You know what? You can march right back and tell them to do their tests themselves, if they think they can play games with me. I guess that's a no then. Some idiot complains, they mess up my place, and then turn around and ask for my help? Is that a joke? Bastards, the whole lot of them. What the heck are you still doing here? Go on, tell them now. Alright, I'm just gonna... Boy, does she look absolutely livid. Sheesh, alright, I'm going. You better. You better! Thanks for all your help. Now that the facility has received the bandage, maybe we'll discover something new. I'm afraid that's not the case. I brought the bandage back. What? Why? I'm not sure what's going on, but apparently the police raided Anna's lab, so she wasn't in any condition to accept. Is that so? Strange. I hadn't heard about this. I'll have to talk with the others. Actions like that will stall the Reza case, but that's not something we can afford right now. I'll take care of the remaining tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See ya! After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite, and wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me, and I collapsed to the floor. The next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. What was this one again? This is... not gravity. Oh, judgment, this is the two. Also by Crickles. I apologize for the violence, but I can assure you that it was the easiest way. Where am I? Is this your hideout? Just a temporary accommodation, so we can be undisturbed for this meeting. Someone else used to live here until recently, and I know exactly who, so does Grant. Do you know who I am? Well, you're not Reza. Good. What did it take for you to figure that out? Since you're not whispering anymore, I can hear it in your voice. I had a feeling that you could be him since we first met, though. Which first time are you talking about? The generator in the cellar, when you pushed me. I see. You can call me the administrator. No other humans are supposed to be here, though. I assume that's why you're wearing a mask. You don't want to be recognized. That is correct. Whoever you are, you also saved my life. On more than one occasion. Your presence here doesn't make any sense. You couldn't have come through the portal. The dragons would have noticed. This is where you're wrong. My arrival through the portal is what led the dragons to discover it in the first place. Is that so? When I crawled out from the hole in the earth that hid the portal, there were no guards to discover me. My appearance exposed the portal, but the dragons didn't know it was there yet. So you arrived before Reza. That makes you the actual first human to come into this world. That is more true than you might think. Just who are you, then? I may have arrived through the portal like you, but my story is very different. Story time! Before the fall of humanity, I was an engineer. I was part of a team that was formed to create bioweapons. Our task was to create these bioweapons in a country where their development hadn't yet been regulated or outlawed. These weapons were planned to be low-cost alternatives for poor countries to wage war, so they would no longer have to rely on expensive drones and machines for warfare. I was to set up the lab where our bioweapons development would take place. It was a clandestine operation to be set in the middle of the wilderness. The laboratory was independent research and living unit and provided everything we needed without having to rely on external resources or even the existing power grid. Everything was to be teleported right into the middle of nowhere with no trace or paper trail to follow, so international communities and law enforcement would have no idea of our operation. Our only connection to the outside world after setup would have been a two-way portal to our headquarters, who would provide everything we needed. While we already could teleport individual people, teleporting the whole building was another matter entirely. Our solution was a matter compression technology, incredibly expensive, but operating in the gray market was also very lucrative. The technology behind it was much more complicated than even teleportation, despite being based on it. While teleportation works by utilizing black holes at the beginning and an end, compression technology relies on a loop, keeping matter in a sort of limbo state until the loop is broken. Working with black holes was very complicated to begin with, and the shape required much more finesse, and thus much more expensive. I was to be sent alone to set up the lab and the portal so the rest of the team could arrive safely. In case you didn't know, it is possible for us to use a portal to send someone to a previously defined endpoint. Therefore, it is not required to have a portal at the destination to be sent there, but as you can imagine, this is also very dangerous. Sorry about that. And sorry, Justin, if you're saying this is boring. Very dangerous. A single variable off by a fraction could mean the difference between landing safely at the destination and smothering in space. Of course, my employer did not want anything like that to happen, not necessarily for my own sake, but because of all the unfathomably expensive equipment I had with me. Regardless, something went wrong. Anyways, despite all their checks and safeguards, they could only minimize the risk so much. Even if the risk was a fraction of a fraction, sometimes we're just that unlucky. Sometimes it turns out that your bad luck is a blessing in disguise. I arrived safely somewhere in the jungles of Earth, yet it was not the destination that had been planned. Oh, you poor person, Justin. I prefer the computer myself. I arrived safely somewhere in the jungles of Earth, yet it was not the destination I had planned. I knew something was off, but nevertheless I set to work immediately. At the very least, I could prepare the building. I would have shelter, and then I could begin preparations for our project. Getting the portal into working order would take some more time, as it was a complicated process that could take several weeks. If things had gone wrong, as I suspected, I would be able to establish contact with headquarters after the portal had been set up, and I would be able to return. While teleporting the lab to the location was certainly a costly mistake, I was still lucky to have my life. Before long, I discovered the truth about the place I had arrived. While I was still on Earth, it was not the Earth I knew. It was the Earth of 65 million years ago. We knew that by utilizing black holes for teleportation, time travel was a theoretical possibility. It was something even my company didn't dare attempt, though, as teleportation in itself was still a very new technology. And here I was, 65 million years in the past, with a research station all to myself, a company I would revel in the opportunity to study and profit from all the different life forms I could see. If only they knew about them. I spent a few weeks setting up the portal as planned, yet when I tried to re-establish contact with my employer, I was met with silence. Despite the time discrepancy, the portal should have been able to find my companies in the present. For a black hole, sending something through time is no different than sending something through space. However, when we built the portals and gave them a specialized configuration, it was only possible to travel through space by aligning them across the time axis. That meant that I, in the present, would still be able to search for portals in the present to connect with. My counterpart in the present, though, would not be able to find me in the past even if they tried. But I couldn't find them, not a single one. Even after checking the portal for its function, I determined that, for all intents and purposes, the portals from the company should have been there to connect with. Lest we forget. Sorry, Remembrance Day is coming up on Monday. It was then that I realized a terrible realization. The portal in the present didn't exist anymore, or were no longer operational. Maybe the blunder of teleporting the lab caused them to reconsider the risks of using this technology. After all, it was already controversial and had been outlawed in several countries. I wouldn't have been surprised if they decided to cut their losses, but it was highly unlikely that they would have immediately shut down every single portal and left me stranded without notice. Portal technology was still being relied on in several places in the present. In my mind, only one possibility remained. Superweapons. Various nations have been using them as bargaining chips for some time. I didn't think the threats had become that serious, but one of them must have launched their weapons and destroyed the majority of them. It could have been the result of a malfunction, or perhaps the political situation had escalated. Either way, it was not possible for me to establish any means of communication to find out what had really happened. Well, the brightness would have been draining the battery, but what I would suggest, Justin, is take a look at the battery in the what is it? Because it could be YouTube that's draining your battery. It could just be that the continual phone updates and everything actually have they update your phone to drain your battery even more, so it's incentive to actually get a new phone. So check settings, device care, battery, and you can see what apps are just draining your battery. In my case, I apparently managed to top everything with Chrome, 4% on YouTube. awesome, right? So last 5 hours, cell standby and device idle is at 2% each for me, device OS 1%, Android system 1%. It's not supposed to be that. Your display is supposed to be at the top. So generally you might want to just factory reset your phone or something, just back up your data first. It's a format, you're going to lose all your data. Either way, it was not possible for me to establish any means of communication to find out what had really happened. I could have sent myself back into the present for the right coordinates, but this was a risky endeavor. And I also had to ask myself if it was a present I wanted to return to. I was sure that if anything that was even left of our world, the aftermath or a possibility retaliatory strike would take care of the rest. In the end, I had to realize that whichever present did exist was likely to In the end, I had to realize that whichever present did exist was likely not one that was worth returning to. It made my decision all the easier. Instead of returning to a destroyed civilization, I saw an opportunity. Rather than creating bioweapons, I could use the lab to create a new civilization, shaped by my own ideals. I had all the necessary data, and most modern methods and machines at my fingertips. Besides, most of the process had already been automated. In the end, I still used the lab for what it had been created for, fusing human and animal DNA to create beings that were mostly animal, possessed greater intelligence, and allowed them to learn whatever we wanted them to. As I didn't have any animal samples sent with me, when I initially arrived, I collected them from the sources available to me. Automated processes to mix the DNA further across the samples, new abilities were added like enhanced armor, flight, and spit weapons to make the new creatures more effective in combat. The result was a number of different species, each tailored and optimized to fill a specific role in a war situation. Hormones allowed me to speed up their growth, and with the lab's learning program, they could be educated in whatever manner I saw fit. My first concern was self-sufficiency. They needed the kind of knowledge that would enable them to come together as their own independent society. Luckily, the AI that automated all the processes in the lab was more than helpful. I unleashed the first generation of my own creation, and as their leader, founded our first village. I thought we could really pull it off. And once I saw they could survive without my guidance, and also govern themselves, I knew my plan was a success. When I realized that this new society would eventually be destroyed, I told myself that I would do anything I could to save it. Destroyed? What are you talking about? Haven't you realized where we are? The Chicks Who Love Asteroid is heading for us. I've never heard of that before, actually. With a diameter of over 10 kilometers, its impact will create humongous clouds of dust, throwing Earth into a literal dark age. They will block out the sunlight for over a year, killing off many species of plants that rely on photosynthesis to survive. As a result, animals that eat those plants will vanish, as will those who sought sustenance from those herbivores. All in all, 75% of the species will vanish, and in a terrestrial ecosystem, all animals heavier than a single kilogram will die. That would be 2.2 pounds, in case you didn't know. Just adding that in for our benefit. It'll be the end of everyone who lives here, every single dragon you've seen, unless we do something. We? What am I supposed to do? Do you not wish to save them? I came here to help humanity. Now that you tell me that this society, this whole world, is also on the brink of extinction, that is the truth. What kind of difference would a single person like me even make to save it? Yeah, that basically is what it is. The dino-killing asteroid. Right now, it's also a single person that presents its greatest threat. Reza? How? In order to stop the comet, we will need as much power as is possible. We reclaimed all the generators he stole. Besides, how could a few of them be enough to make a difference for something like this? Don't forget that Reza is still out there looking for more. The truth is, I don't know if all the generators we could gather would ever be enough. We only require enough power to divert the comet's path during a crucial moment. But even if this plan is possible, we need every single generator we can get. So my goal hasn't changed. I just need to find Reza. Yes, but you'll need my help, and maybe the help of others. You know that Reza is dangerous, and with a gun, he has a clear advantage. Don't think that he wouldn't hesitate to kill you if you were in his way. Then what shall we do? Do you know where he is? No, but I think you'll find him soon, and you can count on my support when that happens. I see. There is one thing that still doesn't make sense to me, though. The dragons have myths about you, but they don't know or remember you. They haven't seen any humans for who knows how long. How much time could have passed since you created them and now? How many generations could it take to forget? Why isn't there proof of your existence? I don't know exactly how long it's been myself when I realized the time period I was in, that my creation was about to be wiped out in the future. I wanted to go to the future and see what they had become. I disabled the portal's time access for safeguards, and thus enabled it to connect with others in different times. This also included the very same portal in the future. With the generators of our labs being able to supply the portal with power of an indefinite amount of time, I was able to travel to any point in the future I wanted to. The entry and end points of the black hole would be the same place and the same portal, with the way travel being just along the time axis. Since I could now search for connection points in any time period, I could look for my own portal in the future and pinpoint the moment its signal stopped. The comet. Exactly. I found the specific point in time and traveled to a future that was as close to that event as I could safely manage. After I arrived here, my escape from the portal's hiding place led to its discovery by the dragons. These laboratories were unearthed. I still don't understand how our portal found yours, and why we ended up arriving at this particular time period. The portal you found was no doubt one of my companies. They must have been connected before, so the corresponding data for their connection already existed when you found them. I'm not sure if that could bypass the anti-time travel safeguards, though. Was it completely operational when you found it? No, it took a little bit of tinkering. Probably jumping the hardware safeguards in the process. Now consider the connected portals travel along the time axis together. The data for their beginning and end points are adjusted automatically. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to transport anything from one place in the world to another, also without sending it through time. Since these two portals must have been connected at some point, the corresponding data for the connection between those two portals already existed. When using the same connection without changing any of the data, this would mean that despite the time discrepancy between those two portals, time is still progressed linearly for them. I'm not sure I understand. Let me try to rephrase that. The portal you found and my own share a connection. However, the connection is locked to a certain place, which is wherever the portal is at that very moment. It is not connected to a specific point in time. For us, the physical machines that are the portals, time passes linearly, and we can't do anything about that. However, for the black holes, this isn't the case. Just as their entry points and end points can be in different places, they can also be in different times. In order to not send something through time that we just want to transfer, when we just want to transport something from one portal to another, the portals are anchored together in such a way that the time data is automatically synchronized. Essentially, this means that ever since you arrived in this world. The same amount of time that has passed for you has also passed in the place where you came from. I see. So despite being in different time periods, time still passes linearly on both sides of the portal. And I guess to just simplify the state, it's the same amount of time passed there as it did elsewhere. Otherwise, it would not have been possible for you to send messages back and forth to each other. If they were not synchronized, the portals on both sides would stay connected not only at a two-way point in space, but also to a single point in time, thus making two-way communication impossible. However, this is not only possible through the connection that has already been forged. If you wanted to, they could also use the portal to send you back to your own time period, but to a moment before Reza even arrived here. But that would mean that there would be two of you, right? Wouldn't that cause a time paradox? I can only tell you that it wouldn't work. No one has studied time travel before, though, so if there are any consequences, then I'm not sure of them. Most likely an entirely new timeline would be created. There would be a timeline without a Cabbage altogether, and in the new one, there would be two of you. This is becoming way too complicated. I apologize. To come back to your original question, I'm not sure how much time passed between the time I left my newborn society and now. Since the portal was not designed for time travel, I have no way of knowing how the variables translated to our perception of time. That could have been thousands or even millions of years. How could the portal, or even its power source, still be operational after all this time? The portal receives its power from the generators in the lab. These units were fitted with the absolute best technology we had to offer. It was designed to provide sustainable power completely independently from any already existing network or power line. It gained energy from many sources: sun rays, Earth's heat, and movement, just to name a few. An administrator impressed. That does kind of give me an idea for a title. It will not be happening anytime soon. Keep in mind, it had to power a whole laboratory and research station, while also providing the energy required for all its inhabitants and associated energy expenditures. Taking its power from the Earth itself, a generator like this could continue providing power to the lab indefinitely. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single dinosaur since I arrived? It seems that the Dragon Society expanded over the whole continent. Many still hunt on their own for sustenance, and as such, the original species they were based on must have mostly vanished. As in direct competition, ours were what proved to be far superior. Also, they have taken probably taken measures against that big predator from their cities and villages. Thank you, Justin. Yet while the dragon population has increased tremendously, I have found that by and large, their society as a whole has not changed much. Is that why everything here looks like as though it's made for humans? I suppose so. The learning program I initially used to give them knowledge about things and how to create them, and of course those were only human inventions and designs. But they never once stopped to think that they should adjust for how certain things look. A lot of the furniture and objects that I've seen look very impractical for a dragon. I was surprised at that too, but I have an explanation for this phenomenon. Don't forget that their genome was designed by an AI program to make them into effective bioweapons. The idea was to have them indoctrinated at a young age. After reaching adolescence, their learning capacity would be greatly diminished. This resulted in subjects that would stay loyal to be unlikely to change their desired behaviors. Instincts also play a role. I imagine they are very much at odds with their learned behaviors. Instincts in animals will never change, and instinctual behaviors will always be there. If a given trait has been programmed into their genome as an instinct, it's not very likely to change, even through numerous generations. We can see the result of this here. While I intentionally made them to learn a certain set of values and knowledge, I found that the expression of those ideas was hardly changed. And after I was gone, each new generation learned from its elders, and much of the initial knowledge and information was retained through all this time. Their genome as a whole did change, however, which was unavoidable over time. If they had been used as bioweapons as intended, they would have been nothing more than an army of identical clones. While I can see subtle changes in behavior as a result, some traits are still very much present in them. They are content with what they have, and don't strive for more. They don't innovate or change, so technological breakthroughs or inventions are a rarity. It's quite the opposite, really. They very much value traditions and their ways, which have not changed much in all these years. I see. How much time do we have left to stop the comet? In a few weeks, the comet will pass the moon, and its gravity field will point the comet's trajectory towards Earth. This is when we will need to be ready. If we strike then, we only need to minimally affect its path in order for the comet to pass Earth safely. There won't be enough time for the inhabitants of this world to prepare if Reza steals our greatest assets. So it's all about Reza and the generators, isn't it? Indeed. By the way, I fixed the portal in case we need to use it. Did you break it to prevent me from being sent away? No, that wasn't me. Reza better not use it to escape. Trust me, the portal is our greatest asset. I have programmed it with emergency coordinates. If you should find yourself in a hopeless situation and feel there is no way out, go to the portal. I have made sure only you will be able to use them. I'll keep that in mind. So, what's your plan? What do we do now? I will resume my work, and you will continue yours. Find Reza. The administrator turned to leave. Wait, what's with all the secrecy? Why are you still wearing the mask? Why don't we pool our resources together and you show me your hideout? Don't you think it would be better if you were completely frank with me? No, not now. A second later, the figure had already vanished into the darkness outside. When I followed, I realized that I wasn't sure how to get back to my apartment. Surrounded by trees and the blanket of night, it was hard to make out where I stood. After wandering through the underbrush, I realized that the lights on the horizon had to be coming from the village, and I made my way back. Justin, there is no Batman here. I returned to my apartment without much trouble. When I looked at the clock, I was surprised to see how much time had passed. 3 minutes, apparently. Not having anything left to do for the day, I soon fell into a deep slumber. I'm just gonna say, Justin, the administrator. Hands down, the administrator. Because me and Grant know something that you don't. Seems like there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Alright, so, let me just quickly check the status. We still have Lorem there, Anna's bad, Bryce is neutral, Nadine's good, Remy's neutral. So, that means that we have not actually met with Remy or Bryce yet. Lorem is good. We've met with him twice. Nadine's still there, we met her once. And we told Kevin that we would meet with him. But that is going to be for next episode. I'm just going to save here real quick. What was the chapter again? Loss and Superstition. Okay. So we have dealt with the loss part, and I'm not sure what the superstition part is about right now. could be a dean. The date with the dean. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you guys again next time. Alright, well, if you don't mind sharing that information, send it to me on Discord. You might as well. The loss, I'm pretty sure, is related to the farmhouse, though. Yeah, thank you, Grant. We will be meeting with someone, really, just next week. Whatever you guys want to do. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope to see you guys again next week. Hope you enjoyed. See you later.